he said that they got on the plane at 10:30, that they boarded and headed back, and that's when they had to make the stop in Moline. But then when you read Hannah, Josh, and Judith, everybody knows that on the 14th there were 2 concerts, and the second concert didn't start until 10:30. So who was boarding the plane at 10:30? You know what I'm saying? Also, as in this short 10-minute trailer clip, you see the different identities where the Moline Fire Department basically provided the identity for the 61-year-old PRiNce with the head injury with the Glasgow coma scores. And then the Moline Hospital Trinity paperwork where Dr. Mancha, the ER doctor, was treating a gunshot wound, meaning that they were at a high-level trauma hospital. That identity appears to be the one of either Nelson PRiNce or Prince Nelson, because sometimes they refer to him as Mr. Nelson or Mr. PRiNce. The identity is never on the up and up, in the no stone unturned Jim Olsen statement file of the year and century and of the world. Anyway, so you guys, what was like I said, I had never read Judith's report before, and she said that PRiNce, whichever this PRiNce was, that Kirk went to go sleep in the front of the jet, that she and PRiNce sat in these 2 chairs in the back, and that PRiNce got up, he went to the back of the plane and was fumbling for about 5 to 10 minutes. They never really clarify anything, but that he came back to his chair, that stewardess Nancy had served some food, but PRiNce only took a couple bites, and that after fumbling in his bag once or twice, he sat down and had a bottle of water between his legs, and then and then this is what she says, something to this effect. And then he went like this, and he went like that, and kind of like this. And that's what her testimony says. So I'm picturing that she was showing him slumping, because then she refers to something about going to sleep. And then she says she went to go wake up Kirk, and they tried to hold this PRiNce up, and they were saying, oh my God, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's not breathing, he's dead. And basically she spends about 6 paragraphs, which again, I'll clip in here, talking about how dead this person was. And then she talks about this, and this is where we know that there's different landings. Sorry about that light, it's kind of bugging me too. When she says that, what did she say? Let me think. She said, this is important. She said that the pilots never came into the back of the plane, that it was just her and Kirk, and that I think that either Nancy, the stewardess, or somehow somebody yelled to the pilots to bring down the plane or something like that. Whereas, let me say this before I forget, the other Moline scenario has pilot Gallus or Betchel, one or the other, grabbing an air tanky thing and running back with Kirk, and then talking about how they tried to descend from 45,000 feet, because that's where private jets fly, because they thought the drop in altitude might help. So these are different scenarios that we're talking about. And then when Judith says that they have this dead, slumped over PRiNce person, she says that some people that seemed like EMTs came onto the plane. She said, in my opinion, they were moving way too slow. And they picked up PRiNce one arm, because she was like, can you get that table out of the way? And she was saying all this nonsense. And so that she basically said these people picked him up that looked like EMT and carried him off. Now, when you listen to the Moline or read the Moline report between, like I said, Rands and whatever, Marco Leones, they say that they got there and the stairs were already down. And when they got there, there was a 300-pound big black guy in a suit carrying what appeared to be PRiNce off the plane. So these are different scenarios. The other fire report says that they couldn't get the cot onto the plane. There's just a whole bunch of scenarios. I can't remember them all right now, but clearly it was not what Judith was talking about. So the feeling I got from Judith's conversation overall was that maybe the one that they supplied, that, like, if you go to the PRiNce Rogers Nelson death investigation online by Jay Korn or whatever it is, that's where I get some these witness statements and stuff. They're all on there. I don't know, man. All these people that get interviewed, they're allowed to act like blank slates. I'm trying to say it politely. When you read their testimonies, it's like either they're on drugs or they're hypnotized. A lot of times the detectives asking the questions, they ask really leading questions, and then when the witness starts to say something they shouldn't be saying, the detective Murphy or whoever it is just, oh yeah, and so where are you guys originally from? Why are you asking me where I'm originally from in the middle of a supposed murder criminal mystery? Well, it's not. It's not that at all. So anyway, Judith, she then gave me the impression that she did say that they had to wait for other pilots because the pilots had landed and they were timed out. And I told you guys that before because NBC News and the little clips that I put on tried to say that the plane that landed in Moline, it said clearly the same plane departed and landed in Minneapolis at, I don't know, shortly after midnight or something like that. But the second concert didn't even get over till midnight in this other scenario where Nancy, the stewardess person, says their flight, along with pilot Gallus, who used his in-flight tracking info to see that they left at 1 a.m. from Atlanta. So who's landing in Moline and why? So it isn't. So anyway, this is the thing about Judith. I'm trying to keep myself on track. When Judith gets back to town, to Paisley Park, she said that she was told to make a tweet or whatever, that the concert that she saw went okay and everybody got home okay. And then, of course, that there's the promotion that Prince wanted to be seen riding around town on his bike and doing the Paisley Park birthday or whatever bash on the 16th. That Judith gave for the plane scenario, I wanted to skip back over here and remind you that Theo said that he had planned the after party for the 14th, but that Prince didn't attend. So now that we know that everybody was on the plane as passengers with Prince at some point, and the fact that Prince did not go to the after party, it goes with what Judith had to say, where they described Prince as having died, possibly in Moline. April 16th, when allegedly Judith and Prince return to Paisley Park, go to the green room and watch movies together, Prince is said to have tweeted the song Controversy, insinuating all the things people say, I'm sure. Prince is also seen very publicly riding his bike around town to prove he is okay, as we just saw. He famously throws the Paisley Park After Dark party and is known to have said, don't waste your prayers for a few days, furthering the plan that was already in motion for the 21st. The media tells us that Prince said, wait a few days before you waste any prayers, not save your prayers for a few days. I remember thinking to myself, why would he say waste? It wasn't to let them know everything was okay. It was an ominous warning of things to come, reminiscent of the famous Instagram post, just when you thought you were safe. And little else was heard from on the 16th. Prince didn't perform at the party because when he was dressed up as Prince, he would do what was famously called the DJ sets, where he would just play DJ music and just make little comments over the top of the DJ sets. But he didn't even do that on the evening of the 16th. On April 17th, I know it says August, sometimes that happens. On April 17th, also things go quiet. There is a tweet from a Paisley Park After Dark party, and in that tweet, a fan is talking about being transcended, and then they show pictures of a party at Paisley Park. What's also interesting is that in the Beautiful Ones book, Dan writes that he got a phone call from Prince. Page 4 of the book, it says, on Sunday, April 17th, 2016, 4 days before he died, that night I was lying in my bed when my phone shuttered and lit up with a 952 area code. He'd never called my cell before, but I knew at once it was him. So what I'm saying is everything goes silent. Prince has never called Dan on his cell before. And little else is mentioned for August 17th, but it's interesting that someone called Dan's cell phone. April 18th, it's important to know that Kirk Johnson stated
that he was unsure if he saw Prince the 17th or 18th. Dr. Schulenberg tells us that when he first heard of Prince's opiate problem, it was on the 18th when Kirk called him to make him aware. There is also a text from Kirk to Schulenberg on the 18th that says, "See you tomorrow," at the bottom. Why would Kirk include the infamous Dr. Schulenberg and say, "We would like you there with us"? Also, Larry Graham's testimony tells us that he met with Prince, Kirk, and Marone in the small room, the NPG room, on April 18th. Graham stated that Prince looked thin, somewhat tired, and showed off but did not play his new guitar. Kirk reported he was unaware if he had seen Prince until the 19th, so why would Larry Graham say he was with him on the 18th? Well, Ray Roberts, the chef, stated that Prince asked for wine for the 18th, though it remained unopened. So just to reiterate, when they get back from the flight, no one sees Prince on the 17th, but Prince calls Dan's cell phone from Paisley Park for the first time. We know that this Prince was at Paisley because Dan said that he held the phone up for him to hear some music that was coming from the background. No one else remembers seeing Prince that day. On 4/18, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch reported that Prince had canceled a pair of surprise shows. Here's that article, but Prince apparently still wasn't feeling well earlier this week, as the St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports that the singer was in talks to play a pair of surprise shows at their Fox Theater on April 18th. The promoter, Steve Littman, said that everything was set to go, the artwork, the press releases, the tickets, but Prince had suddenly taken ill and didn't want the shows announced, fearing a repeat of the Atlanta postponements. Prince was notorious for setting his own schedules and thrived on last-minute announcements. This is because they were seeking pharmacology and medicinals before the concerts, and when they couldn't get them or when they couldn't get it to go right, that's when the concerts were canceled. So that's what was done on April 18th, even though at the same time that the Post-Dispatch was reporting the secret concerts were canceled, Kirk and Schulenberg are texting, "Mr. Mike, can you call me?" This is Monday the 18th. "Mr. Mike, can you call me when you get a free moment?" "Dr. Mike, I do want to talk to you and get some more recommendations. I'll see you tomorrow." Then Tuesday, which is the 19th, allegedly, he responds, "Kirk, I have a number of openings this afternoon if you want to schedule a visit. That would be great." So now we're to the 19th because the secret concerts were canceled on the 18th. They couldn't get the medicines they needed. Kirk sought out Dr. Schulenberg again, and then they had another visit on the 19th. Now, after Larry Graham and Kirk lie about when they met in the NPG room, okay, who was there? The concert was canceled for the 18th. Kim Pratt, who is the limo driver, is going to say on the 19th that she was with him before he passed.
I mean, his frequent places that he loved to go, and I was with him Tuesday night before he passed. I mean, his frequent places that he loved to go, and I was with him Tuesday night before he passed. It's okay. The whole thing was just unexpected.
When she says the whole thing was just unexpected and she was with him Tuesday night before he passed, it's interesting because there's the Moline scenario, there's the lying, the 16th, 17th, 18th, and now the 19th about who's with whom and when and where. But also, Josh and Hannah say, I get over here to this essay, how much more blatant does the obvious cover-up, how much more blatantly obviously does it have to be that there's a cover-up? Josh and Hannah are saying they did on the 18th what the others did on the 19th. So check out what Josh and Hannah had to say. They said, we just saw him Monday. We went out on Monday to the movies. Okay, that would be Monday the 18th, you guys. And we went to eat and watched a jazz performance at the Dakota. And, that's the last time we saw him. That's the last time we saw him, and I emailed him. Was Monday the 18th, question mark? Yeah. They go on to say, we just want to have a good time with him. Sure. So, I mean, that's as much as we wanted to do on Monday. And went to the movie, and I mean, he was walking and talking. Uh-huh. And we were joking because we went to the Dakota first, then we went to the beach club to get some food and kick it, and then we went to the movie. Okay. And that's just like a normal night for us. I mean, last month we went out to the Chanhassen. We just always, I thought, you know how it is. Now, listen, he says they went to the Chanhassen Theater. Kim Pratt says they went to the Edina Theater. Those are the mix-ups between the 18th and 19th. But Josh goes on to say, and it was a normal night for us, and we just sit back and kick it and relax. So like I said, it's no different from when I'm seeing him, yada yada, is in the past. And then he says, all of a sudden just saw something fatal crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy fatal? What did he see? And why did Kim Pratt say that someone passed on the 19th? Also, Renville Wellington's Go Phone records, 419 from 6:46 p.m. Oops, pardon me. 6:46 p.m. through 9:44 p.m. Very, very busy with the text because he's playing lookalike for somebody. I'm not sure. I've told you guys before in the telecommunications video that the phone records that are provided as being Kim Pratt's phone records, between her and Kirk, Kim Pratt's records match these records of Renville Wellington exactly. So when I say that people are playing lookalikes, it's pretty deep. So I don't know. But anyway, the 19th, there he is at work again. Not only are there all these stories about who is where on the 19th and who passed on the 19th and what movie theater they were at, on 419 there are the emails between JR, Natalia, Marone. JR is the one they say is Prince's email. So to say that Prince was doing all these things, passing away, spending time in the NPG room, doing this, doing that, but still at home emailing, you starting to get what I'm saying about the lookalikes and about the cover story. You guys, it's impossible for someone to be in this many places at one time. According to these emails, if you believe that the JR email that Julia Ramadan set up that the investigation sells is Prince Roger Nelson email. Remember, Kirk was contacting Schulenberg on the 18th and 19th and getting referrals and stating, we would like you to be there with us. You've got emails at 4:05 p.m., 4:21 p.m., 9:31 p.m., between the JR and Stella Blue. Stella Blue is an alleged drug dealer in the investigation. They're talking about how they'll do a pickup in the garage. There's all kinds of emails going on behind the scenes on the 19th as well, which again, if you guys tune into these videos, you can see the whole story at once. Well, not at once. It can never be told all at once. I'm trying to give it to you in smaller doses, and they never come out small. Now, further damaging on the 19th is, well, the way that Kirk had contacted Dr. Schulenberg on the 18th and said, we would like you with us there tomorrow, would be the 18th and 19th. Now, DEA goes on to say that the investigators located a CVS pharmacy bag with the medicine sheet still attached. The date on the sheet was 4/19/16, and the patient name, they blank it out. They go on to talk about how there's different pills, but the point is that these pills are the Tylenol with codeine that he got from Dr. Boo. as well as some other miscellaneous antibiotics, I think, and these pills were disposed of in the trash. And moreover, they were filled at CVS Pharmacy in Kirk Johnson's name, not Prince Rogers Nelson or Prince's name. And all of these things were happening on the 19th. You know what else happened on the 19th? There's this thing online that I found. It says, at about 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, April 19th, our beloved musician Prince passed away, born, yada yada, sympathies, condolences, and it says hundreds of fans immediately started writing their messages of condolence on their Facebook page, expressing their sadness, and then they said that it was a hoax and it was removed. So that happened on the 19th as well, and there's, of course, the CVS Pharmacy prescription and Dr. Boo's prescription. Now here's Kirk texting on April 19th. Doctor, could we please come in tomorrow night after hours, do any blood test we can? Please give me a time. Why is Kirk begging for Dr. Schulenberg to be there with them and give them a time? Or is he talking to Dr. Schulenberg, or is he talking to Dr. Kornfeld, the pharmacologist?